Man, it's been a while. My name's Renars. You guys probably know me from the time I was uploading Ironman videos. And unfortunately, 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't really follow through with them. I lost interest with the game and I took a hiatus. I left my clan that I founded and everything. But in good news, I have been finding more time to play in the past couple of months, with the exception of the past 6 months. So yeah, I've been back in the game, and I thought this would be a great time with all these new updates to restart the Ironman series. And so here I am on my account Renars. I did create a new group Ironman that I'm going to use for the backbone of my videos. And here's the account. Eat fajitas. Now I'm going to try to make this a little podcast style for episode 1, so you don't have to be zoned into the video. I'll have some helpful things on the screen, but nothing really too fancy that's going to keep you entertained. I think episode 1 is just going to be a little more informational to help you get started and help you set a goal. Really, whenever you do start off an Ironman account, one of the things that you need to do is to set a goal. What kind of account do you want to have? What do you want to do in the beginning? And my number one recommendation, and not just mine, but a lot of experienced Ironmans, their first recommendation is going to be to rush quests. Specifically, rush Recipe for Disaster. Now, Recipe for Disaster has a ton of requirements tied to it, a lot of skill levels that you need, and a lot of quests that you have to do. The good thing is, as you progress, as you do those quests, you're going to get more experience and you're going to become a better Ironman. What I'm going to teach you now is something that you will use for probably the rest of your life if you have no idea what this is yet. There is an in-game command. When you type it out, and you have access to this the moment you can use your chat box, it's : wiki space, and you can type in whatever you want from OSRS, any item, any quest, anything, and it'll pull out the wiki page. In this case, we're going to type RFD for Recipe for Disaster, and we're going to click enter. And this opens up the Recipe for Disaster quest page within the wiki, and it'll tell you all of the skills you need, and this is an inclusive list from all of the quests listed down here. It'll give you all of the quests you need to do in order to complete Recipe for Disaster. And it'll kind of give you all the items you need and a guide to do this. So this is a pretty useful thing that you need to do. The two other wiki pages that I want you to be familiar of is the temporary skill boosts, and I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to type out wiki again. Quest experience rewards. So make sure you type these out. These are two very important articles or wiki pages in this case that you should know as an Ironman. The temporary skill book page is quite possibly one of the more important ones to know about, because it'll give you a detailed breakdown of all the items in the game that would boost all of your levels. Another great pages on the wiki is the quest experience reward. So as you can see, I have all the quests done, so it tells me what quests I've done, what quests you can do, and what experience reward they give. And this is beneficial because you can skip a lot of early level grinds by just doing quests. And a great way to, for example, look at it is one of the best quest tracks for an Ironman is to do Waterfall, Grand Tree, Fight Arena, Tree Gnome Village, Vampire Slayer, all in one go, and even Death Plea 2, because they all have almost no requirements, and if you complete all of those, you will immediately unlock 45 attack all through quests. So you'll be 10 HP, have 45 attack, and you can immediately wield rune items. So you grinding was level 1 to 40 attack is quite possibly the most worthless thing you could do, because you can just quest and save spot all of these bosses, and you'll just be, and look, even the freaking picture for this is a noob safe spotting it. So right, completely by accident, just kind of show you what level these people do this on. It's definitely worth looking into. Definitely worth creating a goal and setting your plan. And here is a couple of tips which I'm going to share with you now. So this is what I consider to be what your short-term goals should be. And this, everything here is the recipe for disaster skill requirements that we saw earlier. And again, how to get to there, just, you know, in the chat box, do ::, wiki RFD, and it should open up the wiki article for recipe for disaster with all of the skill requirements and all of the quest requirements. So you want to work towards these skills specifically to do recipe for disaster, and nothing here is really hard. You know, it's everything. The highest is cooking 70, which I have a way to assist with that, and we'll talk about that in a future video. But what I really consider what a true Ironman grind to be is probably one of the more long-term goals that I listed over here. And know that nothing that I listed here is absolute. Nothing here is like you have to do it this way. This is just what I personally think you should strive to get. 70 agility will give you a high level agility, makes you run farther because you're not using up more run energy, and it should also unlock you full graceful. You get it around like late 60s or early 70s, but 70 is like a good medium to reach. Graceful will help you significantly, and I can't stress enough how significant Graceful is for an Ironman, because it's going to give you a lot more run energy. It's going to reduce your run at a slower pace, and compared to if you don't have it, which is highly beneficial for questing, highly beneficial for doing herb runs, and anything that requires you to run around everywhere, and you don't have any stamina pools unlocked. 60 attack for Dragon, 83 construction plus an asterisk, which means you have to boost for the maximum boost of +8 in order to unlock everything you want in a player-owned house. 83 will get you all of the teleports, including the crystalline teleport room, the globe teleport, or whatever that is. That puts literally every single teleport in the game. It's so good. You need to have it. You delete all of your portal chambers and you just have one teleport room plus the achievement room, and you're golden. 93 crafting, because you have to +5 to get 98 to make a Zenite amulet, which is going to be your amulet of torture. 70 defense to wear Barrow's armor and anything of tier 70. 32 farming to get Ranar seeds planted, and 65 fishing to unlock Karambwans, which is going to be probably your go-to food for the rest of your Ironman life. 72 Herbalore Asterix, which means you have to boost to get 77 to unlock your 10 stamina potions that you need to build the stamina pool in the house. 83 Hunter for Dragon Implings, if you are pursuing, you know, a glory through Dragon Implings. I personally don't recommend that route, but 83 is pretty easy to get now with the Hunter's Guild edition. 83 Magic for the Barrows teleport, because if you are going to do a Barrows grind, you should have the Barrows teleport unlocked. Very, very beneficial to have over there. 43 Prayer for the overheads, 70 Ranged for Blessed Dragonhide, which you get from Hard Clues, and 85 Slayer for Abyssal Demons whip drops. So I do want to highlight some additional short-term goals that you should have. Aim to get the Artie Cloak 1. This is great because it gives you infinite teleport to Artie. It's a great slot magic cape if you don't have the wilderness capes or pre-60 magic. And it gives you prayer bonus, so it's actually a really good prayer bonus, and a lot of people use it for high-level PVMing when they're worried about conserving prayer. And you can literally get it in like 2-3 hours max, right? 50 fire making specifically for Wintertodt, because Wintertodt is very beneficial when you have low HP. The damage scales with your total HP, so if you have 10 HP, you're going to take like 1 to 3 hits at a time. Rush the quests. Now, whenever you rush quests, this is my quest section right over here, I say rush these quests specifically: Death Plateau, Vampire Slayer, Tree Gnome Village, Fight Arena, Waterfall Quest, Grand Tree, because all of these combined have virtually no requirement outside of the 25 agility, which you need 70 anyways. And doing all of these quests from one attack will get you 45 attack, so it just completely bypasses the attack grind for a rune weapon. Once you have that, go to the ZMI altar. You can even just do wiki Zamorak Warrior and it'll take you to that page. Kill the Zamorak Warriors, which are safe spottable with Fire Strike, and you have a 1 out of 50 chance of getting a Rune Scimitar, which I think is better than the 1 out of 128 from Fire Giants. So that's just my personal preference. Do the dig side quest. It unlocks Bon Voyage and Fossil Island. It unlocks the giant seaweed farming patch, and it gives you more than 50 kudos total at the Varrock Museum, which is required for Varrock Armored level 1. And also, last but not least, work to get 58 Slayer, because that is ultimately going to be your black mask. You have to do the quests associated with unlocking cave horrors, which is mostly harmless. So look into that. I think these are some great early iron goals. And as you can see down below, I have a couple of more videos planned out with a few more hidden that you don't see in sight. All of these are very easy goals. All of these are very attainable. The 58 Slayer might take a little longer to do, but ultimately when you're training every other skill, your combat, you should be doing Slayer in my opinion. There are more efficient methods, but I'm not an efficient player. So I say play as you want to play, and strive to get, into the game mode where you can do the best thing that you can do. Another thing worth mentioning is Shadow of the Storm is a quest which is required for Recipe for Disaster. It gives you a choice of 10,000 XP in a combat skill. A lot of Ironmen go from 1 range to 27 range when they do Shadow of the Storm, and all of the bosses are safe spottable or flinchable. So I know a lot of Irons that wait until they have a little bit better melee stats, but they keep their range level at 1, they go to Shadow of the Storm, and they choose combat 10,000 XP in range, and it just bypasses, levels 1 through 27, and then afterwards you can go buy a Dorgishan crossbow with some bone bolts and have a training weapon until you can get a rune crossbow. So these are some things that you have to consider when you're creating your Ironman. Again, everyone's playstyle is different. Everyone learns differently. So you learn from your mistakes. You learn from, hey, I want to have this item. You go onto the wiki and you look at the process that it takes to get these items. Maybe you need to get some crafting levels. Maybe you need some fire making levels. Maybe, there's a very niche monster that drops the specific item you're looking for. You gotta go find that monster, kill the monster, and hope to the RNG gods that you get what you want. So Iron Man is a very tricky game to play, but it's a very satisfying game mode. When you finally get that drop you've been grinding for, you get a lot more dopamine than you would if it's just some normal account that you can buy items from the Grand Exchange. So highly recommend Iron Man mode. Highly recommend this be your first set of goals. And again, I can't stress this enough. Everybody plays differently. Set your own goals. These are what I recommend to be your starter goals, and you can work with that and move forward.